previous maps, a lot of play. And then Shate going to be, somehow Caviar has made quite a comeback this season. This is at least the third time we've seen it, which this is an operator that just never gets picked.
When we talked about Caveira at 6 Invitational, people laughed at us. Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen, because now we've seen Caveira picked pretty much every single day.
Jackal's being picked more as well, so it's possible that that could be some of the mentality behind it, is leaving less footprints for Jackal to track, so that as a roam operator, they're more dependent on Lion to try and catch you out. And if you could play quietly, I mean, we saw yesterday, though, you still got to be wary of your feet and how things cover your view, because we had a drone just sitting there staring right at Caveira's feet for a good 20 seconds probably for the kill. So you got to be careful of stuff like that as well. But nonetheless, this team composition not too unusual, although the thermite not always necessary depending on the bomb site you're attacking, but you pretty much know you're going to be attacking basement first most of the time, and that is where he is very strong for opening up that wall from the servers area. Here's where Shate's going to go, though. Usually roamers are going to be playing upstairs as much as possible to delay. He could hide some areas in stock here, which it looks like he's going to be doing for the moment, and then just staying silent. They are a lot of times going to enter from the upstairs area near where he's at. He could go for a peek out potentially if they have the intel for it. They do have a Valkyrie, so they do have the possibility of knowing when they're going to be approaching and jumping out.
I'm not sure if they set up a mute jammer near the Caveira or at least Shate's position, because this might very much help him.
Yeah, Eunice is going to be very helpful on that.
No, there are no mute jammers that are set up now.
Unfortunate, but I think he's going to be able to do fine on his own, assuming they don't track him out. But it is hard for the Jackal to get to the point where he can see these footprints. If he didn't leave any near the skylight door, which is where it looks like Jackal's probably going to enter to try and get that. So we'll see.
Maybe we'll see like we actually got at Six's Invitational, where everybody from the attackers just focused so hard on one. Oh, here we go, Shate. The peek, the tap, and the drone did not spot him, unfortunately, there. Goga has to fall back. He's detected, but that's not the end of the world here, as all he's trying to do is delay as long as possible. He goes up for the push, gets the kill, and that's Revan down on the ground. Habana and Lion out of play as Shate sets up with the pistol. Can even one tap very quickly, very easily here. Maybe go for an interrogation.
Goga!
But before that, Goga sets up the second kill for him, and that's enemy down on the floor. Void and Sneaky still alive, and Sneaky finally comes in and ends Shate before he gets
Didn't even have to use the stun on him. Just needed to get that shot.
Here we go. Jonas is just going to be putting up a rotation home as a ball drop down, and won't be able to drop all the way down. They can still rotate from the stairs. There's only 2 alive, and they're all still outside of the building.
Yeah, this has been a very aggressive play. I mean, Shate is the only one to die, and he already got a kill before he did that. So between him and Goga, they pretty much decimated this whole team for the most part already. The leftover utility in the janitor closet, not even vital at this point, because they did lose the ADS as well due to this C4, but nonetheless, Sneaky has got a huge uphill battle. I mean, he's still got the diffuser carrier with a Voy to be able to play it, but trying to push on a typical spot here is going to be so hard to do with this 2 people left.
They have hard destruction, right?
Yeah.
That's something that can play off of the hatches. But
soft destruction as well, potentially. Sneaky still has
so you have something to play around with, but still, when you have everybody else that's alive and C4 in hand still, it's going to be extra difficult.
Interesting. You don't usually see that door closed very often right into the CCTV, so gives a little bit less line of sight, forces them to kind of announce their presence a little bit.
Yeah, Pengu set up very, very close here on the Valkyrie. And the desk in CCTV points that to everybody as the thermite sets up, but Pengu is ready for him. He
still
drops
goes
him
off.
Somehow a second too late there on the kill, but Jonas, it's a bit of damage done. Sneaky, of course, has taken a lesion trap to the foot just a bit ago. He's going to get spotted, but Sneaky gets one. Jonas ends him. And what a defense from Penta. That was just, let's end it before they ever get all the way down.
That was a very aggressive Valkyrie C4 too. You usually see them playing from red hallway or even all the way in B to go for throws inside of the room to try and get it near when they go for the plant, but just going straight for the thermite was an interesting choice, and that might have been some of the mentality behind barricading that door so the Valkyrie could play a little safer in there and then know when they were going for the approach and hear that thermite going off once they were ready to do that, because generally going to open the door first before doing that. I mean, it obviously was a little bit late and they still got the thermite off, but I mean, at that point, what did it even matter as it was down to 1 player left? Gotta give Sneaky credit for at least getting 1 kill there, but too little too late at that point. I think they were just caught off guard by pretty much everything they were doing. I mean, Goga even getting spotted inside janitor closet and still being
two kills.
Yeah, that was I mean, I would say a little bit maybe embarrassing for Mockit. Yeah, but they are going to go on a different bomb spot. They're actually going to start Teller's Archives. And that's definitely an interesting choice here. I imagine, you know, Penta was, unless they knew something about Mockit that, you know, is not readily obvious, they were going to be planning for going down to the basement. However, their attacker lineup works fine for attacking this as well. Jate going to be bringing out that blitz that we've seen so often now, and especially in combination with Lion. It's extremely brutal in combination with Finka, but we're just not seeing that very often yet. And I feel like that's maybe going to become more common, specifically for teams that have really good blitz.
Especially with now defenders, we've seen that yesterday as well, where teams have started to forfeit a smoke.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the time to try to think.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I mean, bringing the Ella in this case, you almost be better off with the smoke just to try and stall it out. But I don't know if smoke stalls out as well in this particular site as it does in the basement.
No,
so it's a case of like, maybe make use of it, use the castle instead, which is an interesting choice to try and reroute them.
And it kind of forces the attackers to spend either a lot of time in utility to take control of CEO,
yeah,
or to just push from the ground floor.
Well, in the case, like, it mostly slows down Blitz, but Junis is going to be able to use his lifelines to be able to open those castle doors pretty easily, even without having to have Ash. So it's a case of, like, I think they're just fine in terms of being able to counter it, which is unfortunate for Mockit. They are taking control of top floor as quickly as they can. No 3 kills right off the bat like we saw from Penta. Panics, though, playing a dangerous game up here, being alone with Lion in the mix, moving around quite a bit as well. No Jackal this time to track footprints, but nonetheless, they are going to get lioned. And it is Panics really struggling here. You hear the line going off. Goga's going to follow it up with the drone and make sure Panics has got nowhere to go. Might even see here a second line, but Junis actually getting taken down.
Cold, nicely done.
Boy.
Void, even playing with the 870 on the Jaeger. All right, what's going on here? He grabs the kill.
It worked.
Okay, that's pretty good. They paid him inside of Janitor, and now he gets taken out.
Now Shate's going to have to do this alone. He really needed the teamwork of Eunice, especially with those castle barricades, but I think he's comfortable playing this alone. Not sure why he doesn't have anyone else from his team helping him out, but he's just going to clear this alone. Unfortunately, him is crossfired. Well played by Sneaky, but Fabian trades it off. Fabian, who unfortunately wasn't there a couple seconds earlier, could have saved the Shield's life, and now Penta actually are down a man.
Ooh,
as
nice.
I say that. Oh. Evens it right up.
Evens it right up. And, you know, you should always be checking the elevators just in case. But Revan peeks up and gets the kill on Goga. Lion is now up for just a couple seconds to see them burning the ADSs. Maybe try and push him here as the E1D is still in cooldown. And he sprays in and can't get the kill. And the defenders of Mockit Esports grab the second round, and they tied this one up very early. I mean, the first round was complete destruction of Mockit, but here they show that they can play a site that isn't, you know, something you would go for.
Primary,
yeah, it's not your primary site. They go for an 870, and they play against a team that usually does not fall for these kinds of tricks.
Yeah, and I think it all came down to that first kill on Junis, because that was the coverage that would have helped Blitz of Shate stay alive. Then he died. Fabian was just a little too late in supporting him, and then things kind of fell apart from there. But it was a surprisingly well-played defense. Sneaky there with doing a lot of that work, who is, again, one of the new players on the team, already proving his worth and taking 3 off of Penta in a round. That is impressive for him. We are going to see a bit different lineup for attack this time. We're going to see a Glaz, which is pretty useful on this site in case anyone tries to go into lobby. You get some long angles. You can also help attack CEO from across in the parking garage roof, because you can get some nice long angles into CEO, which is something you need to take control of, which is what we saw Penta trying to do last round. However, Shate, instead of the Caveira this time, is going to be taking the Vigil. So again, going for the roam. Junis going to be on the mute to be able to help him potentially, or at least help the rest of his teammates on site. And then Fabian actually switching over to Legion, famously one of the players who pushed Legion early on, saying its value as an intel operator, continuing to do so. And then Castle again this time from Penta on this site. So it seems to be, so far, 100% picked for this site between these 2 rounds.
Attackers are heading out to
pretty
defuse
sweet
bomb.
setup as well here. Now, of course, the Lion has become a thing, and also Sneaky going for the Twitch. We haven't seen too much plays of Twitch.
No, it's been very underpicked. Even Buck has been somewhat underpicked lately, so poor blue operators not getting the glory they would like.
That was a point that actually Parker highlighted yesterday with Buck, that especially Latin America.
Yeah,
really
seeming to prefer Sledge.
Yeah.
But I mean, they tended to prefer Sledge a lot more than other regions, I think. But at the same time, it's like really
in
preferring
general,
it now.
it's
Yeah.
dropped for everybody. That's a thing.
Nonetheless, though, Enemy's going to be bringing him. He's very useful on the site. If you get control of CEO, you can start to push. And that's what they're working on right now. Lion is going to get potentially someone if they move them. Goga doesn't move this time smartly. They got to know he's potentially playing there again, though. That's kind of his spot, and they're not going to fall for the same tricks as he did last time, so he's got to bait them just right in timing. He does have an escape route through that impact hole, and then Revan taking down Junis, though, is going to hurt this a little bit.
Oh, here we go, the drop. Goga will refrag and tie it up, and that's a Lion out of play, and Sneaky now goes down thanks to Fabian rotating around.
And that's Diffuser down as well, so now they know where that's coming from, but taking Goga out is going to make it a lot easier to get the Diffuser back.
Goes in for the 1v1, and Fabian will go down. Nicely done by Enemy and Penix playing together here. They will take him out and turn it into a 2v2, but now Voi's on the outside, and Enemy has to rotate in, take control of the Diffuser. Shate and Pengu can definitely play for time on this.
Yeah, Pengu can hold the site while Shate is going to continue to roam. As long as Pengu can hold his own, which we've seen him do pretty often on site defense, this is going to be still a difficult situation, especially right after that. Shate taking down Enemy. That is the buck down. There's still some floor destruction you can get from Voy on the glass, but it's certainly not going to be an operator you want to be going up against two good fraggers like this with, so uphill battle for him here. Nonetheless, though, taking out 3 of Penta in this round has been a pretty good play for the attack that fell apart so easily first round.
Yeah, well, not shots from Shate are definitely not something you're expecting to deal with all the time. Pretty oof shot there, and Voy is going to try to set up with a smoke grenade going into.
That's a big cue, though. They got to know he potentially is pushing that smoke, and they have C4.
And they hear the beepers as well. He can just fall back onto tellers. There's 40 seconds left on the clock. Diffuser's still away. He has to play the fragging game, but can't. Pengu will take him out. Easy kill there at the end. And Penta shut down another push there. That was they've been very impressive in terms of holding the CEO slash just the entirety of the top floor. Even trading has been a difficult part to go through.
I think they really need to figure out how to take Goga out of Janitor, because that's been kind of where they've been falling apart both attack rounds, regardless of the bomb site. If they could figure that out, I feel like maybe they could get a lot more progress on taking the top floor control, because the support isn't always there from everyone else, because it seems to come down to timing with people like Fabian trying to support him upstairs. And unfortunately, we didn't see a whole lot from Shate other than the 1 kill on Vigil, just because he was playing such a deep roam. But nonetheless, he didn't really need to. Like I said, Pengu can hold his own just fine on site. We're going to go for another attempt downstairs here from Mockit. They're going to be bringing the Pulse this time. Well, I'm sorry, not another attempt from them, but I mean another attempt in general, because Penta was the only one to play it so far. So we haven't seen how they play it just yet. They're actually going to be bringing in the Echo, something we have yet to see this matchup. But it is very useful downstairs.
We've been seeing how strong Echo has been, even in 1v2s.
Yeah.
Whereas, yes.
We
like to highlight that.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of Shate playing Echo on the site, actually playing from Garage in previous matches back in Invitational stuff, which was an interesting strategy that I'm curious if they'll try and emulate or not, because he would play this angle where he would, I think he might have even been on the ACOG playing the Garage to try and be able to fight the long angles and guard Garage.
He spent a lot of time guarding the Garage, and then he still got taken out at the end, because by the time he fell back, someone from EG just rotated around and took him out. Because they, when you're trying to push, especially now with having the Lion, it's always good to have somebody going from Garage, because then you just have so many angles that the defenders have to look through. Here they don't have a mirror, which is even an extra thing to have, because you can't
I don't think we've actually seen a mirror yet, which is surprising considering it's a much higher pick rate than it even used to be. So it just seems like between these two teams, they're not as concerned about it, at least on this map. Boy, actually, with some nice little melee holes there, kills to peek through. Those are a little bit of a giveaway, as those are more uncommon these days, just in the sense of, like, they could be risky to play, but when they catch you off guard, they really catch you off guard, so.
The attacker's bomb diffuser
they're making sure to check the elevators.
Yeah,
and of course, it's a nice drop there.
It's very important to make sure.
Are they going to go for a vault drop for a B-side attack here, or just setting up for angles? Because that is a rare attack to go for a drop right there. Could just be getting just a little bit of extra angles on them to get some intel.
If they spotted the defense and the setup, it might be viable. I mean, they haven't opened up in open area, so even the office there is still unopened. Yeah, and
Peng is actually rotating around. He's already used 2 of the X-Kairos. We know he at least used 1 on the teller's hatch. Not sure where the other one got used just yet. It might have been for the other hatch over there, but it looks like he could be rotating around to open up some angle onto red. Garage, but there we go. Nice initial shot from Shate, but traded so quickly by Revan, who almost died himself. 1 HP at that most.
That is so much damage there done to Revan and Enemy. Shate, expendable to some extent on the Ashe, but that is so much damage. We would have gotten the kill on Revan, which would have been a lucky kill because Revan just.
Well, that's intel that's very important because you can play in gold and hide there, but Junis, there goes Sneaky, and now there's 2 operators with low health as Goga takes down Panics. It is down to 2 low operators to try and clutch this out. Goga finishing off Voy as well, 4v. Oh, there's Goga though.
And now they spot Revan that's moving around. Fabian will take down 1, and they know the last one is in Gold Vault, and Revan lands the headshot on Fabian, taking him out. But now Pengu and Jonas are alive. They go for the diffuser and pick it up, and they know Revan has to rotate back. His angles are very close. They can just go in and plant on B, and that's exactly what they're going to do. You'll see him spray right next to him, but Pengu's ready, and he knows the angles perfectly. Takes the shot, takes him out.
I mean, yeah, they lost that round, but that was pretty well played, I thought, overall by Mockit. I mean, they definitely are showing why they picked this map, because this is one where we thought, you know, Penta has such an edge in a lot of ways that we expected that, you know, this would be probably not as much of a fight from Mockit. But Mockit have had the roster changes. They picked this particular map for obvious reasons, that they know what they're doing. The question is, I mean, can they bring it on Coastline? Because we're obviously going to see Coastline either way. And there's, you know, a good chance that Penta are going to close this out at some point. I'm feeling like maybe a 5-2, but it's so hard to call it because it's just Mockit has actually been very surprising with some of those kills, both on attack and defense. Shate going to be playing the Echo we were just talking about, potentially in Garage again. Provides some nice coverage. I would like to see him not die, you know, towards the end and be a little more useful on the Yokai drone, but they are
playing Mirror.
Interesting. We just had in the interview Shate talking about playing Mirror on most sites, except for somewhere he wants to play something else, and this is obviously where we're seeing that now. So Goga being thrown on that duty instead. Should be interesting.
This is the most interesting thing about watching teams on the level of Penta, is that they will play things that you have never seen them play, and they'll just perform really well on it.
And now we've got Pengu on Pulse, going for, it looks like an upstairs Pulse roam. Gonna be able to stop that. I mean, I feel like we should see Pulse and Vigil a bit more in the current meta with the line the way it is, but Judas is actually going to be on that mute again. Seems to be liking playing that mute regardless of the bomb site.
Revan on the Lion. Definitely an operator we've been seeing a lot of.
Just a few times.
Just a few times, yes. Open up the front door here. And this rest of the team of Mockit and just setting up, making sure nobody's ready for them in lobby. They'll go all the way up top, and that's exactly what they should be looking for.
It doesn't look like, is there even any defenders upstairs, which is
nobody. They just all
surprising.
fell down.
They definitely want to play this a little more turtle this time and make sure them burn up time. Maybe, I think they're hoping as well to burn up some of the Lions on the roam clear that is not going to get any kills as a result of it, which is always good to do. And that's why Vigil, I think, is really nice too, because if you can get them to burn some of the Lion drones early, that leaves them with less to use on the push. Obviously, there's a cooldown as well, so you have to manage your time effectively on the push. You know, you can do one right before the push and then one right after. And there's the first one going out to help Blitz here, because he's going to be the face checker. So what you do is you have the Lion go off, get anyone to not be able to move safely, and then you have the Blitz face check stuff. But that was not a very aggressive push from enemy, and you only get a few seconds of that Lion to be able to use. Unfortunately for him, he was in a position where he was going to get flanked.
The important bit is having, again, Eunice on the mute, because it means that, we were talking about this yesterday, where you don't just want to rely on the Lion, you want to rely on droning plus the Lion.
Yeah, or plus a Jackal even on top of that.
Whereas here, if your drones can actually can't get on the site and tell you where your opponents are.
Yeah, you can't count them, right?
Yeah, you can't see exactly where they're sitting, even if they're not moving. The combo can't work correctly, and then you just end up expending very valuable E1D charges from the Lion.
And then with Pengu on the Pulse, he's going to be able to provide additional counter intel that they're going to have on top of that. Obviously, you can't see drones or anything with that, but that's what the mute jammer's for. And this is, of course, the gold vault we see so often played by the Pulse. We saw it even last round, because this is the safest place for Pulse to be. He can be a little trapped if they're able to pitch from vault, but that, again, that is so rare. Surprisingly, they're actually getting this open this time. Pengu not there to go for the C4, as he's going to be playing in a different position.
All right, second E1D, and now we'll be on cooldown for the next few seconds. As Pengu spots everybody, and he spots the Thermite going for the plant. He's now going to fall back. No C4. Oh, there we go. He falls back. They bait off the C4 perfectly. And this might prompt Pengu to push in as well for it as a blitz. There we go. Last E1D is going to get used. And no! Goga, no!
Greed.
That's it. He goes down, and now Revan and Panix get a kill each. Shate and Goga last two alive, and unfortunately for them, they have to face the blitz. And now all he has to do is run in. Well, he just takes the blitz. Revan and Panix clean it up. What a clear from Mockit. Extremely efficient.
Just lack of good coordination on stopping the plant is what cost them everything right there. That team kill was just the start of everything falling apart. And I mean, it was so much more effective when Pengu was ready to do it himself and was obviously wanting to do it himself. He came out to throw that C4 because Mir had already thrown that C4 and was like, oh, it's fine, I'll take care of it, but obviously didn't communicate that. And teammates shooting him right in the back of the head. Yeah, very unlucky because he was going to be needed for additional intel towards the end there. So they need to really be a little more clear on how they're going to play that. And that actually gives Mockit a chance here at 2-3.
A Rook coming out.
Revan, 8 kills as well.
Attackers need to
Nicely
locate
done.
and defuse as many bombs as they can.
This is looking pretty decent for Mockit on this map. It would definitely be pretty mind-blowing if somehow they were able to win Bank and put Penta on the back foot on Coastline. We do see a lot of teams, though, that can lose some early rounds that are very strong teams to try and figure out how to play against their opponent. So it wouldn't be too surprising to see Penta be able to win 2 more rounds, but I definitely at this point am not underestimating Mockit whatsoever. And I feel like Penta, this being the first game of the season for them, coming off such a heavy streak of wins, have got to be feeling super, potentially overconfident. And I feel like that's something, for example, that cost them in Latin America finals when they were a situation where maybe they were just a little overconfident and ended up losing earlier on. Hopefully that's not the case for them today. They're going to have to get their act together, and probably going to be a little tilted after that team kill as well. Maybe a little bit of finger wagging at Pengu for that team kill.
For rushing in right in front of Goga, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Fabian will.
And Goga's actually been pretty important in terms of doing a lot of work. I mean, he's not always top fragging or an operator, or I mean a player that you count on to be doing a lot of that heavy lifting, but he's actually been doing pretty good here on Bank and playing some important pivotal roles.
Yeah, in general, Goga is one of those unsung heroes in a lot of minds. One of
Junis as well sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, for Fabian, he will say this multiple times, Jonas is the best fragger that he could ever wish to have on his team, because when Jonas gets into a comfortable position in terms of mindset, which took him a while, especially last year where he wasn't this confident, he just can go ham and destroy team after team, no problem.
It looks like they're a little concerned about Black Eyes. There is a Valkyrie on the team from Revan, so it's probably smart to be looking for those.
Jonas will go up the spiral staircase, making sure nobody pushes them as far. The Lion will open up.
That does find Revan at least. Looks like Fabian playing on the information.
Yeah, he just sprays right through and gets the kill on Panics, and that is your ACOG down. No more Rook to be played on Mockit. That would have been a pretty cheap kill there, but Shate is ready with the shield and does not take any damage. Just moves up and sets up near the door, and all the way on the outside it's Pengu on his Nirvana, just looking down, helping Fabian push through.
He might even be able to open the walls. If they can clear the batteries, he might be able to open the walls from there if he can get the right angle through tellers. That would be kind of interesting to see such a long X-Cairo shot.
The Cairo snipe.
The Cairo snipe, yeah. The Glass Cairo. So Junis holding angles. We were talking about getting in comfortable positions earlier. He's trying to get one now as Shate's trying to open things up for them. And he's going to bait out one C4 at least. Fortunate waste there from Revan. He's very low in health as well, about 1 HP. It doesn't take much here. His second line comes out. He's blinded. Easy down. Now Sneaky's got to make up for it, though.
Yeah, he's spotted. They know where he's at, so they can comfortably go for the kill on Revan. They spot the second. The UMP goes off, does a tiny bit of damage. And Shate now dropping a bit too low on HP, has to fall back. He pushes everybody behind. Shate gets one, can't get the second. Sneaky will get one for himself, but Goga cleans it up as the E1D buzzes around the map. And to get one round closer to victory.
They really needed to take out Shate because once he was able to push into that room and take so much control of it, that just pushed them back to trying to defend from a single doorway.
Hated C4. That's why you never pop the C4 unless you're
unless you can get it behind him.
Yeah, so you have to wait until the blitz goes through the door.
Which at
this,
the current mode of blitz is usually when you're dead at that point. So it is definitely a difficult thing to do. You really need the right angles. You need a good defensive setup to be able to do that. Perhaps you need a distraction even so that the blitz is too busy focused on one player. So maybe you need the, for example, maybe it should have been switched around. Maybe Castle should have been a little bit closer and then had the Valkyrie around the corner ready to chuck it behind once the Castle had baited the blitz in. I mean, again, hindsight's 20/20, but it's a situation where it's very difficult to counter blitz, especially when Shate is playing it that well. He got a little greedy staying ADS for that second kill, but still did some damage, made it easy for the cleanup. So it was definitely not completely worthless, but it probably was a little greedier than it needed to be. He could have drained them a little bit more of ammo before he got that second attempt. Nonetheless, enemy going to be bringing that blitz this time. They're going to be attacking on this Teller's Archives again here. Penta, though, at match point, making this very close to being over potentially, but with Mockit putting up such a good fight, we could see potentially at least one more round here. So this is impressive for a team that I think we've all felt a little disappointed by in invitationals in terms of a higher expectation.
Really, last year, the entirety when they were under their whole organization Vitality, at least 3 of these players were a bit disappointing as well in the way they were disappointed as well with their own performance. And
what's going to make Mockit happy at least?
I mean, with their couple rounds that they've pulled off so far, they have been very impressive. The rounds that they win are very, very impressive. Well,
it'll be interesting to see, though, if Coastline is their map or not, because it could just be that they know Bank really, really well, or it could be that maybe this isn't even their top performance. Maybe Coastline will somehow be better, because maps just so deeply affect how teams play in this game, which is why Best One next season is going to be interesting.
Yeah, you play every single week with probably a different map, so that's the most interesting thing that you
can't wait. So drones going in here, no mute jammer inside there to stop him from getting intel, surprisingly. Not sure where Junis put all of those, but they are going to need to try and deny as much drone coverage like we were talking about before. Shate actually not going to be on a roam operator this time in terms of Vigil or Caveira. He's just going to be on Blitz, which is still a viable roam operator once those batteries are down. Obviously, though, that leaves you unable to bandit trick any of those walls.
Cole, no! Turns around just at the last second there.
Angle.
Pengu, just what an angle there. Gets the kill. Even though he was spotted, doesn't matter. Fabian goes in, gets the kill on Sneaky. And now Blitz and the Twitch are now down on the floor. And that's the third one. That's Panics eliminated with Voy and Revan left alive. You can E1D as much as you'd want, but as much as you'd like, but
they still have at least one hard breacher, but Voy is already taking damage. They're going to need a combination of this Lion and Voy to push. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to get any kills on 5v2. Still got some time left, though. At least these deaths are early.
So I guess the information goes in for the 1v1. Quick spray from Pengu. Doesn't switch to the Deagle, but E1D will get dropped. C4 thrown up, and he can't get the kill. Can he just yet? No, he just drops him on the floor. And he is down, but not out. That's all that matters, though. Shate gets one. Of course, Pengu will get the finish on Revan. Well done by Penta, just eliminating their opponents before they can even get on the site.
That's been kind of the theme of Bank for the most part. A lot of times from Penta, between Goga and Shate, a lot of times just denying their ability to even get in the building for a while. And in Penta's case, it's really working. This is something we've heard from some of the pro players that I think I mentioned on Monday as well, that a lot of teams in this current meta are seeing a lot of aggressive defenses. Good spread among Penta, not anyone really carrying there. Fabian, even with the highest frag, still less than Revan, who did quite well. I think most of Mockit kind of picked themselves up there and did a pretty good fight, but nonetheless, it's Penta. And I don't want to talk Penta up too much because, as we said earlier, we already do that too much. But that's why we are giving a lot of credit to Mockit as well to take such a good fight. And it's not like Bank is a map that Penta's bad at. They're definitely good at Bank as well, as we saw, especially during that first round. A lot of unexpected plays from Penta. As Shate was saying during his interview as well, that they can be pretty flexible in their operator choices and who plays what, and that lends itself to playing unexpectedly against the enemy, because you can kind of change things up. Like say, hey, I'm just going to try a Caveira first round or Caveira and do it, and it works because you're not expecting
That's the thing. When you switch around between which player picks which operator, even though they're the same operator, Shate will play Amira differently than how Pengu will play it. Pengu will play it differently to how Goga will play it. And that's something as well that plays into the mind games that you'd like to force your opponents into. Obviously, team killing your you know,
I feel like their basement defense was actually one of their worst sites. I feel like they did a little better on the Teller's Archives. Surprisingly, both teams, I think, had a little bit better Teller's Archives because the basement is so well played at this point that I think the teams are running out of good strategies to counter that plant. I mean, obviously, the C4 from Pengu that round just throws it out and kills the Thermite was very well executed. But that was somewhat obviously due to lack of any kind of coverage or shots coming on into the room.
It was a
but
4v2.
Yeah, it was a 4v2. What are you going to do at that point? You need to not let everyone die before you get to that point. So that was a situation where I feel like maybe they wouldn't have been able to get away with it had more of the team lived to get in there. But obviously, Penta were playing it very well in terms of aggression on defense. But that's a hard thing to do well sometimes because, well, for one thing, Lion. And for a second thing, you have to time things well. Timing is so much more critical when you're aggressive on defense than sometimes offense. Because offense, you have the additional intel you can get from drones, from good coverage, from map control attempts and things like that. Because you also have advantages in that, in terms of map control, in that attackers can rappel up and down, and defenders can only go upstairs. So defenders are always at a potential disadvantage in retakes. So if you can get initial map control, it's great. But with such aggressive, you can't get map control.
You see how aggressive PENTA were at taking control of the top floor, for example, even when they were defending all the way down in the basement. We didn't see anybody just trying to push through the sewers.
No, it was just complete non-starter, which is in some ways a little starting with someone, or surprising with Blitz in there, because Blitz can push up through any single lane, like we see Dirt Tunnel on Clubhouse, is good for Blitz because he could just truck right on up it. Yeah, and it's a situation where there's not a lot you can do to it. However, fighting into that room can be difficult without additional coverage from the server stairs, for example, because they could be on the server stairs, they could be on the door to CCTV, they could be behind the servers, and they can even, if they're really cocky, could be playing from the hatch above to fight angles, and then Blitz is in a really bad spot. So it's not the best tunnel to be pushing from.
You don't even have to open the hatch.
But he could even be pushing from server stairs down as well, with people pushing from the tunnel. Say they were, you had Eunice on Sophia, which would also be nice because you can then hit people behind the servers, help push into the room with Blitz countering from this side. There's lots of options for teams to do, and so it was a little bit one-dimensional because they had so few operators left most of the time. They went for the attack, except for that one round that they won with the team kill, in which they had a lot more people left alive. It was a much more successful push. The Blitz was there. They got the thermite down.
It kind of turned into like just throwing bodies at a brick wall.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything. You have to go to the side. You have to go around it, which is why I mentioned the whole push through sewers. Because we've seen even Six Invitation, a lot of teams just won't even open the skylight hatch.
Yeah, it's risky for both teams because there's ways it works against you. For the attackers, it's actually a lot of times more beneficial for covering the diffuser. But I've seen so many times people covering the diffuser from there get so tunnel visioned, they get flanked from so many other possible positions because you're in a skylight. You have people that can just shoot you from above, shoot you from the same floor, maybe even shoot you from down below if you're not watching carefully. So you've got to fight so many different angles from there. So it is, I mean, I suppose in a way you could go up to a higher position and fire from there, but we don't see a lot of teams do it. They tend to play it closer in the actual lobby, skylight lobby itself. So it's
not open the hatch.
It's definitely an interesting bomb site.
Keep it closed, keep it reinforced. Hey, most of the defenders will reinforce it. Don't care about it. It even turned to a thing. Sixth Invitational, just some teams wouldn't even reinforce it. It's just like, well, they take it out every single time.
We've seen actually good defenders who are able to actually play up, shooting up through that hatch. They're able to take advantage of it as well. If you can play the angles and the confidence, some of that comes down to good communication and game sense to know when it's safe to be able to play like that. You know, you're not going to be getting flanks. Or if you're in a situation where you've just got the man advantage, maybe you die, but maybe you give some additional intel to someone else on a flank when you do that. So
a lot of theory crafting around it, that's for sure.
But it's based off things we've actually seen, of course, as well. Like obviously, this game's been around for going on year 3 now. There's been plenty of bank as it is one of the original maps. Coastline, however, which we're going to now, is a newer map come out last year, so it is one that has seen a little less play. I think it was not in the map pool for Pro League the first season it came out, but went in shortly after in the next season, and we are going to get started on that. Thankfully, we are ready to go. It's Coastline. It is pool party.
It's time for the pool party. Last time we saw
popular site.
Yeah, last time we saw Coastline, it was PENTA taking the win at the final map in a best of 5 in overtime on Coastline. But here they're facing Mockit. Mockit that have shown pretty good resilience in our first map. And here we see the Glass Blitz Lion with the Dokkaebi. All right, so they realized we're facing a lot against so many roamers.
Well, yeah, the strength of those roamers, too. They really need that extra utility to get someone like Goga, for example, out of position. He's going to be playing on the Bandit this time, interesting. I don't know how heavy the roam's going to be necessarily on this particular site. This is one where we see them kind of spread out a little bit, but a lot of times having to collapse kind of back to site to defend that penthouse, because the penthouse tends to be attacked from that Hall of Fame or Aquarium side, I mean a VIP side. It tends to get pushed from there pretty heavily. As well, you got things like the Glaz that are able to fight these long angles and things like that. So
let's say welcome back to Shate's Hamster, who's back on the wheel here to turn him back into the game.
Got to feed that guy.
You gotta feed your hamster. That's the thing.
I know it's
take care of your pets.
Playing this game. So.
But let's head into the match. Of course, this is map number 2 in our best of 3 series. PENTA Sports taking map 1, 5-2 on Bank. As now Coastline is our second one, and let's see what they have in store for us on this. Of course, Mockit revealing to us at the start that they're ready to eliminate every single one of these roamers, and you know what? You want to stay in the same position? Well, you've got Tokabi, and we'll just call you and say hello.
To be fair, though, like even when they got Goga on the Lion, it still wasn't enough to be able to push him. So I don't know if Dokubi's going to guarantee any kind of additional push strength that they haven't had already. But we'll see if it factors in. It seems to have been doing okay for teams that we've seen playing it so far. This is the third play day of Pro League altogether. So we've seen some of NA playing it. We've seen some of Latin America play it. It has been a little effective, maybe not as much as some teams would like, but it certainly hasn't been a wasted pick.
Now Voy setting up all the way up top, and he can maybe try and snipe any of the...
He can even open up some of the wall right there if he wants to with his destructive power, because it's not reinforced.
Yeah, that's very true. Open up the wall is very,
Put some angles on people trying to rotate. I think that's a good idea to do as long as it's not going to backfire and as long as you can watch it.
That's why you bring the Lion as well, because it combos so well if you're trying to shut down any roamers that are trying to exit certain positions. You force them to stay in and around the site. Interesting
to have the Lion on diffuse carry, though, as a lot of times he's going to be trying to help guard the diffuse plant. But there's the phone calls coming out here, and that's going to put Junis in a precarious position. But he's got the C4 ready for that blitz. Let's see if he can bait him in all the way first. Nope, a little premature. No, it does.
Oh, no, right next to him, goes in for it. But Goga gets the kill, gets the double as well. Fabian gets two for his own, and what is going on? Voy's all on his own. He spots Fabian, but can't do much against that.
You might as well just go to the pool and just try and relax the rest of this round, or pull an Avian and go back to Ruins, because this is ruined already. But he does get one. I'll give him that. Goga going down. They're already doing his job quite well.
Ooh, shot sitting right next to Fender there, sitting Jonas. The shots whizzing right next to him.
We'll see if he can get any more. He's got more than enough time to play with, as 4 of his friends died very, very early into the round. So, roof party, I guess, at this point. Fabian the only one even taking damage among the surviving members of Penta here.
He'll jump down. He'll
try
to drone in. Throws into hookah. Doesn't find anything.
Junis is still on the mute as well, so this may not be as effective as he would like. But at least he knows where the diffuser's at. So he knows how clear that is. This is what he's going to be having to push for here, but they know it, and they're going to make that loud and clear with those bullets. Trying to, like a warning shot at this point, and see how sneaky he can be.
Voy moving in here. It's going to smoke out the diffuser. Definitely something to try to want to do. Mira will come in. C4 is going to get thrown out right next to Voy, and it won't hit him. No, that was a smoke, and Pengu goes in, gets the kill, cleans up Voy, and Mockit get bashed into the wall at the start here.
So nicely done. Penta just tearing it up, playing similar to how we saw them first round on Bank, where they're just demolishing Mockit. But at least a good effort by Voy, at least enough time left to play with. He wasn't playing too desperate. Did get the diffuser. Almost got some kills, just couldn't land those shots down the hallway. Good play by Smoke as well. The point of the Smoke was he had to either push through or push back, and it forced him to compromise his position a little bit. He couldn't fight a nice long angle like he would have liked. But just that teamwork between Goga and Junis seemed to work very, very well in that VIP area, just holding it out, completely solid. Not able to get any angles. I mean, obviously, yeah, that C4 didn't get the kill they wanted, but that forced Blitz into a compromised position. Got him down much quicker than I think he would have expected.
The most interesting part was using the open sidewall in the bedroom, or from here, just to get shots directly through into the hallway, so where Voy is reinforcing right now.
Yeah. It almost did some work for him there.
It's kind of a... I mean, it's a risk. You either reinforce everything here and make sure that your opponents have to have hard destruction, or you don't, and then you have to play semi-aggressively with everybody that's playing inside of the lounge.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it all worked out for Penta, though, that round with 4 kills in a row very, very quickly. Now we'll see how Mockit can defend this. They do have a pulse as well as the mute, so you should be able to deny a little intel and get some of their own. And see, we actually have Pengu on the Ash this time instead of Shate. He's going to be back on that blitz. Goga has been a pretty good thermite, so not surprising to see him on that. But then Junis on the Glaz. We haven't seen a lot of Glaz from Penta necessarily. Junis has been someone that has been an off and on Glaz, I feel. Like, he's definitely not Latin American level Glaz from what I've seen, but he can get some kills sometimes when he's on it. But I mean, Voy showed some good play with Glaz last round, as we saw, but Junis going to have to try and top that with at least 1 kill this round if he wants to show Voy what he's got. Again, Voy and Sneaky, the 2 new members of Mockit.
See,
kind of proving themselves.
yeah, you see Shate and Fabian trying to clear out Sunrise Bar. There's nobody in there. They force the defenders back, and he's taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, it's not a good start for him. He gets a little greedy with the ADSing, so he's going to have to be careful in terms of if he gets engaging in 2. And then with the Pulse here able to identify him, although he's not on the heartbeat sensor now, he could hear that. I mean, he's going to hear him, though. It's like a freight train coming in. So he'll kind of know that that approach is coming. And Shate
goes in here. Panics will get 1. Shate out of play, but Fabian yet again will find the refresh. Pengu gets another one, and he spots one more in kitchen. Nicely done there. Information being relayed. The defenders Mockit, though, will get 1, and they spot the second Void with a headshot on Jonas. And that's now the Swede and the Finn down on the floor. It leaves Pengu and Goga alive. They've got hard destruction, and there's still a C4 for enemy to play with here, as well as Void still downstairs in the kitchen.
Void was a good pickup. I think playing quite well for his team here. A nice angle from down below as well. He's still at full health after those kills, which is a nice start. Pengu, though, is going to be the one to try and take down, as Goga is going to be more on a utility role here, trying to help get in and go for the plant. If they can take down Pengu, it's going to be very hard for Goga to try and plant all alone. Fortunately for him, he's not Blackbeard for that window.
And they go for the mute jammer. They take out at least the one that was set up here on the bedroom wall. They take out the wall, reinforced wall itself, and now Goga might just try and go for a fake plant. And there are some close-up angles that you can use where it's very difficult for enemy to throw in a C4 to take him out, and that's exactly what they're trying to bait out. You see Pengu go in bit by bit, but that's all they needed, though. Void will get one on Goga, and it's now all up to Pengu. This now has to defend against the 2 opponents of enemy and Void from Mockit Esports. Enemy pushed up real close. He can even go for a tap on the diffuser as he knows that his teammate can help him.
What?
Pengu goes in for the one that's very important in this one. He drops the Mira. Now Pengu getting really close, clutches at Pengu with a double kill. And Mockit, even though they came back so well from the round, Pengu is just too strong. The push from the defenders was not coordinated to take him out in the fame hallway. And you know, that's where he stays.
In a way it was, too, because, like, Pengu read into that. We were like, oh, you know, he looked away at the wrong second. But I would say he was playing it smartly in that he knew that the thing is he knew where that guy was. So the important thing to him at that moment, his game sense told him.
Take down the other one.
Yeah, I'm going to get flanked. There's 2 on me. I know he's coming through that door. It's more important that I take out the guy that's not expecting me than the one that's expecting me to re-peek. And so that was so smartly played, and that's why he won that, was just the good game sense, heads-up plays there. And if anyone was going to clutch that out, it was going to obviously be someone like Pengu able to play that. I think it was a nice pinch attempt. The timing wasn't 100% there, and that's why it cost them. But it was also really due to Pengu's good game sense. Let's say he tried to engage the mute there. Had he even won that gunfight, it might have been a situation where he just got easily one tap from behind by the Mira approaching. So
interesting Mira window now being set up into the main hallway.
For sure. So we'll see if that pays off. This is a bomb site that's the second most popular one, but it can be hard to defend sometimes depending on where they're able to get map control, just because you're somewhat limited on where you can play in that area, and top-down control can be pretty effective through the floor and try and get some good angles on it. So we see a lot of people fighting kind of up and down on this bomb site through the floors, especially people like BC.
Oh, yes. BC's plays on the Buck especially were just absolutely insane.
Definitely wants to emulate on this map. So we'll see how this attack comes out. Sneaky again, bringing this Dokkaebi here. Void going to be on that glass again. Hopefully going to last long enough to get another kill and put some pressure on them, but this is a different bomb site, so.
We've seen this angle being played out so well, especially by, well, Supremacy before, now Vitality.
It feels so bad when you get glass shot in the toe and die. It's like an arrow to the knee. It's unfortunate. But he's going to be going for some long angles from above. Let's see if he can make some work of that. Enemy not going to do a whole lot with the blitz on the roof, so hopefully he's got a good plan for how to actually approach once his droning is done. Just trying to drone safely, of course. Safety first in this game. Whereas when these rounds end so quickly, you do almost feels like you have a little bit of extra time to drone now, just because teams are just playing so aggressively. And we saw Void with like a minute and a half or more left previously because of that. And there's the scan coming out here from Lion. Doesn't look like anyone feels like they have to move, just stand still.
Goga set up very close here. Still the ticks of damage happening from the Legion, but Void is ready for him.
That angle.
And takes down Fabian. Still more damage done to enemy here as the second tick goes in. Flashbang right into Shate's face. Doesn't care. Pulls up a Night Brazil. Can't do much with that.
He's going to let it go to voicemail as he gets the kill.
There you go.
Revan taken down. Unfortunately, because Revan's been one of the good fragments. But Panic's trading it back onto Goga is a good play here. And then Panic's getting another one on a Shate. That's a 2K. It is now a 4v2 against Penta. This is not their bomb site.
But bomb site is still downstairs. They have cleared up the top stairs, and they can still use
They still have Pengu on the smoke, too. So
yeah, which is already a very scary thing.
Counts as 2 people.
Cole, but at least Jonas will go down, and now 4 versus 1. Pengu will have to clutch this again if he wants this round to go his way.
Not going to be as easy this time with the Blitz in play here and the Glaz. This is definitely a tough spot for Pengu, and he's already being forced to burn smokes.
Yeah, forced to burn smokes, and even the Mira window that was disabled. Enemy taking a bit of damage here, as we see even more smokes being thrown out. Only one more gas canister left here in the hands of Pengu. He's going to get spotted as he goes in for the reload, as he pops the last one. See the Blitz all the way in the back of bathrooms. The sneak is ready for him. SMG-12 will clean up Pengu, and that's Mockit to pick up their first round on Coastline.
It's unfortunate for him, too, that the Glaz was still left alive, because in a situation where he's going to be focused on delaying with smokes, that actually gives Glaz a sight advantage on him, which is really a big problem because, yeah, he's delaying the Blitz, but the Blitz can be standing, or the Glaz can be standing right behind the Blitz, ready to get shots through those smokes that Pengu isn't even going to see coming. So it was a nice idea to try and use those to stall it out so he could play the other angle, but it was just a tough spot to be in. Voy just carrying his team in terms of at least the points we've seen so far, along with Panics. So far, a good choice, as I said earlier, picking him up with his experience from Ares, and definitely playing it strong. Unfortunately, I mean, now I feel bad for Oplan a little bit losing Voy, just because we've seen him play so strong against a team like Penta. However, Penta are at the point lead. They did win the first map, and this is their map pick. So far we've seen their only real weakness on this map has been that downstairs bomb site, which of course, if they continue to win their upstairs ones, will potentially have to play multiple times. However, if they get into an overtime situation, you know, then they can switch again. But considering they have a point lead right now, it's less likely to see that. We are going to see Junis back on that Glaz again. Chate this time on a Thatcher instead of a Blitz or anything. That should be interesting to see. Obviously, they decided there was some utility that was going to be a big problem for them that they needed to clear out.
Yep.
That also does hurt Revan a little bit on that pulse, which is, you know, more of a sort of edge case situation, but does affect his heartbeat sensor. So I suppose there's that, along with Voy on that mute. Possibly wanting to clear out some of those mute jammers or the ADSs. Could even be used to counter smokes, as we saw, I guess, from Latin America, but not a common use of it.
Of course, Goga pretty much stuck on the Thermite forever, what it seems.
But he plays it well, so that's fine.
He is one of the best Thermites you would ever like.
I remember when we were first calling him Fragmite, it was Goga. I remember on Bank Basement, just fragging out. Or no, the Arsenal as well on Clubhouse. So, yeah, not a surprise.
Don't underestimate him, that's
no,
for sure. But
definitely not.
It's interesting as well. You said Shate is going for Thatcher. They have Goga as well. Obviously, the combo's very, very well.
Combo's too better with IQ, but they did bring that.
So you've got 2 positions to go for here. You either go through the bedroom, or you go from the back wall. Basically.
Yeah, and it's more common to, I think, kind of attack the bedroom in terms of attacking from, like I said, the VIP and Hall of Fame area towards that bathroom. Dropping bathroom is something you can also do. It's a little risky, especially if they have like a Legion or something to be able to give some intel when that drop happens from longer distance. But usually teams will play a little bit differently in this current meta. And we're seeing just approach from here. There's Pengu in that Hall of Fame I was talking about, which is where he was fighting before. But he's got a lot more time to work with this time.
And we saw Fabian by the Lamborghini doorway. He won't find anybody just yet in the main hallway. As Pengu moves in, well, moves out at this point. Just waiting for some information to be relayed in.
They need Goga to open that wall like he did last time. Speaking of information, there goes that lion.
Yeah, turns out E1D, and they will spot sneaking in the back. Voy getting really close here on the stairs as Panics is ready as well to receive the info, but Pengu gets the kill on enemy and will eliminate the Mira from below, and that's 1 out of play.
It's a good start because that's a potential C4 off the board if it wasn't already used. And Fabian finishing off Voy, who's been their big player here. It's really going to hurt.
Pengu moving in, trying to find a close-up angle. Already taken down the Mira. Second one is the smoke, and they just spray in. Fabian gets 1, and they're close to cleaning up the second. That's Panics on the floor, but Pengu and Fabian clean up the last two, and Penta with an extremely effective push. They didn't force themselves into pushing the lobby. They're like, okay, we can just have one person sitting next to the Lambo and just look into the lobby just in case.
Cutoff rotates.
Yeah, cutoff rotates, and force everybody from kitchen to either fall all the way around, which also gives you time to push through the bedroom because they were already in Hall of Fame, or we can just catch them rotating or just kill them outright in the kitchen.
It's funny, I remember when Fabian wasn't a heavy fragger, and he's really come into his own lately. Like, we saw it at Invitational as well. I mean, he's already got one more frag than Pengu, of all people. So as someone who's normally the IGL, someone kind of an intel person doing a lot of work in terms of kind of being the thinker.
As if he needed more of an ego boost.
Right, right. Well, but he deserves it, right? In terms of coming from someone that has earned that place and is doing even better than Pengu, who a lot of people consider the best player in the world at the moment. And unfortunately, Junis, you know, that glass just doesn't work for him. Even last round, he was the only one to die, falling towards the end due to Revan's pulse. So, it's,
as long as the team is winning, I guess that's fine, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's just weird to see.
Yes.
Fabian out fragging Pengu. It's blows my mind, but now maybe I have to be nicer to him, I guess.
Maybe we have to get a call with the admins to make sure everything is working fine.
Maybe someone's headphones are on backwards.
Yes.
So, nonetheless, we're going to see a similar lineup to what we saw in previous attacks from Mock-Up. They're going to be bringing that Glaz and Dope again, enemy on that Blitz, and Revan on the line. Double ADSs there. They definitely do not want that door getting grenaded through. Goga probably going to be playing inside there as the Blitz, hoping to be able to stick it a little more safely.
Yeah, the Bandit's going to be set up here. Yes.
They both start with
Blitz on
yellow.
defense. What is going on?
One's a lightning bolt. One's a lightning bolt coming from a shield, essentially. Ubi, why
By
do you
the
do this
power
to
of
me?
Zeus, and
Right.
there we go.
Well, they're both brand new DLC operators, okay?
God damn it.
All right, so getting back to the nothing happening just yet. Enemy actually pretty far in already in terms of the shield he would cover from Panics, trying to at least work an angle down that hallway. Hopefully he can provide some coverage, opening stuff up with his, or no, I'm sorry, rather, clearing the barbed wire so they can start to push. But the Dokkaebi comes out along with the Lion, obviously trying to make it so they could do something together here. And the push just not coming aggressively enough. They're able to sit still, answer their phones, make a few texts as well, and no push coming in. This is where we saw last time Goga and Judas playing such a solid defense. And they know it. Enemy so hesitant now, not really playing off what they did. Second logic bomb coming out. And along with the Lion again, they're really trying to time these, but they're not pushing against it. Revan, though, does get one, and Fabian picks up Panics on the trade.
Very well done here as the Ash falls for the Mute. Mute already has his stuff out, and here we go with a 1v1, and Goga nails the headshot somehow, and now shoots right at the feet of the Blitz as he takes a bit of damage. Same for enemy here, but Revan from the outside coming in, takes down one, and they spot up the smoke as he runs all the way back. Shate taking a bit of damage, but it's a 3 versus 3, and this is what we're talking about. You open up the sidewall here, now it kind of plays into your disadvantage if you're playing on the defense.
Yeah, the situation, though, he's got to watch for his flank, though, and I mean, Blitz can only cover himself so well. He doesn't have a teammate with him. Pengu playing on that mirror. Smokes are starting to come out from Shate. As you said, he lost a little bit of health, but he's got the smokes to cover him. Unfortunately for him, with how aggressive this meta is, you can't burn smokes for time the same way as well. Maybe that's why we're seeing smoke pick a little bit less, because it's not about that last 30 seconds anymore. It's about that last minute and a half.
Definitely so. Definitely so. That's why we see some more Echo and Smoke being picked up again.
Yeah, Echo a little more usable throughout the round as opposed to a Smoke, which is going to be really down to the last seconds. But of course, if you blow your Echo too early, they have a chance to shoot it out, and you only get one, unlike the 3 smoke charges. So trade-off, definitely, as enemy is still yet to make progress down that hallway. They've really been a good double lane. 28 seconds left is not a lot to push with. At least it's a 3v3, but all of them at lower health than the defenders.
And there's no more E1Ds to be played here from the Lion from Revan. All flashes are out, but no more smoke grenades to take down any of the hero walls, and that's it. All you need is Pengu on the side. Aims, gets the shot. Fabian gets one, and Fabian gets the second one. Voy will fall to the floor, and barely any HP. It's the Swedish IGL that lands the final kill here. Nicely done.
Unfortunately for him, trying to aim low there, he did a reverse drop shot, essentially. Forced him to hit his legs. I mean, you think about it, right? Because he got the shots, and he was aiming low. He might have been able to get the face of Fabian and get the kill, But instead, Fabian stood up.
10 kills. Just stop.
Yeah, can we sub him out?
Hello, BK. Can we have a talk about this?
But I mean, nonetheless, but that's what I mean. He did a reverse drop shot there. People complain about the drop shots, but he did the reverse of that. He stood up when they were expecting him to be prone, forcing the glass shots to be less effective, leaving him with some actual health at the end. So it's just one of those things you don't really think about often. So I kind of wanted to highlight sometimes standing up is effective as dropping down, depending on what you're fighting against.
Attackers have located
I
the
can
bomb.
already.
Unless you're Blackbeard.
Unless you're a Blackbeard. That's like an exception to every single rule. But I can already imagine like somebody dubbing over voice line from, what's the name of the crustacean from, what's the show called? Futurama?
Oh, Dr. Zoidberg,
Dr.
yeah.
Zoidberg, like somebody just putting the dub in the voice line that he always does on Fabian, just jumping around. I want to see that.
Yeah, so let's hand it over to Reddit for that. So there goes a lot of castling for that room. They want to make sure that the room stays as secure as possible right next to the hookah. We are seeing, it looks like it is hookah. No, I'm sorry, it's above hookah. I was going to say, I thought it would be odd if they're playing hookah, which is definitely less common. Blue Sunrise is also a fairly uncommon site. Kitchen and Penthouse seem to be way more favored. However, this is interesting. This is a site that's a little open to the outside, as well as having a good approach from above.
Oh, Fabian gets the shot, boy!
Unfortunately,
not ready for this one. Oh my
Fabian a little more rate. Does take a little bit of damage, but as the line, he can hang back and use his utility without having to directly engage anyone. So
he's already done the work that he's really asked for at the end of the round. And
well, that's killing that castle there too.
That's the 11th kill now on the board as E1D will get popped and they just run on in. And at least with that first kill, it forces everybody to fall back. Even the mirror window that was set up in hookah, well, now it's going to be forfeit.
Do you think Fabian's just asking his team to get less kills to make it look better?
Hey, Pengu, can you like fall back?
Down, yeah. Shate, though, picking it up. We hadn't seen a ton of kills from him, but Goga, who we have seen a lot of piles up there. Shate getting traded, but with one more kill. Enemy the only one left, gets one on Goga.
Now 3 left. Enemy has to clutch this here to turn it back into a round for Mockit. It's
match point, though.
Can Mockit make it? That's the question.
They're just going to change their name to make it.
Straying right from the outside here, just trying
pressure
to open up everything on enemy. As you said, the pressure is on, and they might force him to run out and get a bit too aggressive. We've known enemy for being such a player, but no, Fabian's ready, and he picks up his 12th kill on the board as Fabian cleans up the round in PENTA Sports. Big things up, 5-1 total here on map number 2, Coastline, making it a 2-0 sweep. Only 3 rounds lost, 2 of them being on bank.
4, I think, total, because I think it was a 5-3 on bank.
5-2.
5-2, all right. Well, I want to give them more credit than they deserve, I guess.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
For effort. Either way, though, they put up a good fight on bank, which is the important part. They tried to put up a good fight on Coastline, but Coastline was Penta's pick, and obviously Penta's map. I mean, no one's going to be surprised to see a 2-0 here from Penta, but I do think Mockit have, I think, a better roster, a better cohesion than they had before. Both of their newer players playing up pretty well, especially Voy, who was someone